Money. It's often right at the heart of what we want, isn't it?
Yeah, that feeling, that pursuit, it seems like it's just part of life.
But here's the thing, I think. So many of us chase it, but without really, getting how it works
Hmm.
or how to handle it well.
Right. Just earning a paycheck, well, we see it all the time. It doesn't mean you have peace of mind or, like, real stability.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Without that money wisdom we're talking about, things can get really tough. It hits your relationships, your health, even, well, your sense of purpose.
It really can. Strain everywhere.
So today, we're going to dig into some really powerful ideas. We've looked at this fantastic source, The Quiet Millionaire, Discreet Ways to Make and Manage Money,
Great title.
isn't it? Our mission here is basically to give you a shortcut to the principles that successful people use, not just to make money, but crucially, to manage it,
Mm.
grow it with wisdom and discretion.
And it's not going to be dry like a textbook, right?
Definitely not. No audio textbook here, promise. We're here to unpack the real core ideas of this approach. Find those surprising insights of the practical stuff that can actually change your financial path.
Okay, let's do it. This whole idea of building wealth quietly, wisely. Where do we start?
Well, what's interesting is the source kind of starts with the flip side. What happens when that money wisdom isn't there?
Ah, right. The common struggles. It lays them out pretty clearly. Relationships getting tense over cash.
Yeah. Or juggling 2, maybe 3 jobs just to stay afloat. The toll that takes on your health, it's massive.
Or, those passions, those creative ideas you have, they just get pushed aside because you're always chasing the next dollar.
It's that cycle, isn't it? That hamster wheel. Working so hard, but still maybe drowning in debt, just scraping by
Yeah.
month after month.
It paints a really tough picture. Makes you stop and think.
It really does.
Oh.
So if that's the struggle so many face, what's the way out? The source talks about this quiet millionaire. What is that exactly? Why the quiet part?
Good question. So the quiet millionaire, they're not the ones flashing cash, driving super flashy cars necessarily. They're people who, build their wealth modestly.
Okay.
And they often give generously too, but, and this is key, they don't do it for the applause. They operate on principles that work for them, but they aren't shouting the specifics from the rooftops.
Right. Keeping it low key.
Exactly. And that brings us right to the why behind discretion. The source really emphasizes this. Money stuff, it's deeply personal. What works for me might be totally wrong for you.
True.
So, talking openly about your finances, it can just open the floodgates to, well, unwanted opinions, judgments, even pressure from people, family, friends about how you should spend your money, or invite it, or donate it.
Or feeling like you have to justify your success or lack of it based on someone else's ruler.
Precisely. You get criticized because you're not living up to their idea of what your success should look like.
That makes sense for avoiding awkward conversations, but the source pointed out something deeper, something I hadn't really clocked before. Being too open about wealth can actually be a security risk.
Oh, absolutely. That's a huge point in the material. Promoting affluence makes you, well, vulnerable.
How so? Like digitally and in real life?
Both. High net worth individuals, especially the ones who are very public about it, they can become targets. Think legal actions, scams, people trying to manipulate them.
Wow.
Yeah, digitally, it's phishing, sophisticated frauds. In real life, it could be people trying to, exploit that perceived wealth. Keeping things discreet is actually a form of protection. It preserves your peace of mind.
That's a really important distinction. So privacy isn't just about comfort, it's about safety too.
Definitely.
And it underlines why financial matters are so personal. It means you need to be really careful about who you let into that inner circle, right?
Yeah.
Only trusted partners, ethical advisors, people who get it.
People who respect your values and your need for privacy.
So what does this mean for you listening? Well, it suggests financial success isn't just hitting a number. It's about finding peace, maintaining privacy, and staying true to your own values. Protecting yourself, really.
Protecting your assets, protecting your sanity.
Okay, so discretion is foundational. But how do you build the wisdom to manage money well in the first place? The source gives some pretty direct advice on choosing mentors. It basically says, don't take money advice from the broker.
Or maybe more broadly, don't take it from people who are always struggling financially. The ones constantly in debt or stuck in jobs they hate, complaining all the time.
Yeah, the source calls it looking at their fruits. Their results tell you what not to do, rather than giving you a blueprint for success.
It's a tough thing to say, but often true. Now, there are exceptions, obviously. Someone might have a temporary setback, a health crisis, maybe their whole industry got disrupted. That's different.
Or, guidance from older family members who've genuinely learned through experience.
Right. But the general rule holds. Avoid advice from those who seem stuck in scarcity, always making excuses, always seeing themselves as victims. Their mindset, their values, their choices, they often lead to that constant struggle. You don't want to absorb that way of thinking.
So if not them, then who? Where should we look for guidance?
You look for mentors who've actually done it. People who've intentionally built impressive results, good lifestyles over years. People who handle their own finances well with a kind of ease.
Could be anyone, really. Family, colleague.
Yeah, it could be family, coworkers, maybe recognized experts. The key is they demonstrate wise money management through their actions, their lives, not just talk.
It's about lived experience, not just theory.
Exactly. They pass on habits and knowledge that, frankly, you often don't get from those flashy influencers online who seem more focused on funding luxury appearances than, actual financial stability.
Right. The appearance versus the reality. That's a crucial difference.
It really is. It's tempting to follow the flash, but the source reminds us to look deeper at the sustainable foundations.
Okay, solid advice on mentors. Let's talk about another cornerstone the source highlights. Patience. We live in this instant gratification world, right? Everyone wants shortcuts to wealth.
Oh, definitely. Society pushes that constantly.
But the source brings up these, timeless sayings. Earn before you spend, and investigate before you invest. Seems simple, but profound.
It really is. Getting what you want now with a credit card or a loan feels easy in the moment, doesn't it?
Dangerously easy.
But it just sets you up for that burden of debt down the line, sometimes for years and years. Impulsive spending is basically borrowing from your future self with interest.
So the advice is be patient.
Pretty much. Live within your means. Save up. Only buy what you can actually genuinely afford. Patience pays off long term. Quick fixes usually don't.
And that applies to investing too, right? That investigate before you invest part.
Absolutely. If some opportunity pops up that seems super urgent, like get in now and it's foolproof, that should be a huge red flag.
Yeah, warning bells should go off.
Right. If an investment idea can't hold up under some objective research, some real scrutiny, just walk away. Avoid it.
So what does that investigation look like? What do smart investors do?
Well, the source paints them almost like detectives, They dig into financial statements. They really try to understand a company, its strengths, its weaknesses.
They're not just looking at the stock price.
Not at all. They evaluate the potential returns, sure, but also the risks. They look at different options before they commit any money. It's thorough.
And that careful work helps you put your money where it has the best chance for real long-term success, right? Not just chasing some hot trend that might fizzle out.
Exactly. It's about sustainability, not just quick wins.
Okay, let's shift gears slightly. We often think of money as the goal, the prize at the end. But the Quiet Millionaire flips that script, doesn't it? It says money isn't the destination. It's more like the engine.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah, think of it like a powerful car. It can take you amazing places, but you're the one steering. You decide where it goes.
And the real power isn't just having the money, but how you direct it, based on your values.
Precisely. The source gives great examples. Two people, same amount of money. One buys luxury goods, the other supports causes they believe in.
Or two people retire early. One wants to travel the world, the other wants to finally start that business they've dreamed about.
Right. Our values, our personal vision, that's what guides how we use the tool of money. Its real worth isn't just sitting on it, it's in the choices and opportunities it opens up.
It really highlights that dual nature of money, too. Handle it wisely. It's an amazing tool, security opportunity. Mismanage it.
And it becomes this demanding master, leading to stress, frustration, even ruin. It's not inherently good or bad.
So its value really comes down to how we see it, how we interact with it.
Yeah, and the source really cautions against letting the chase for money overshadow the important things: relationships, health, your core values.
That raises a really important question for anyone listening, I think. Is money controlling your life? Or are you harnessing its power in line with what truly matters to you?
It's about letting it serve your purpose, not dominate it. Once you understand that, you can really start using it effectively.
Understanding money as a tool, that naturally leads to thinking bigger, doesn't it? Thinking about multi-generational wealth.
Exactly. Moving beyond just what can this money do for me right now to what can this build for the future, for my family.
It's about legacy.
It is. True financial wisdom, the source suggests, involves building assets, maximizing money's potential not just for yourself, but to create something lasting. And your success isn't just about your income.
It's about how much you keep, right?
Hmm.
By being smart about expenses, taxes.
Exactly. Avoiding unnecessary drains, minimizing what you owe, it all adds up.
This points towards what the source calls a traditional way of thinking, looking at saving, investing, stewarding money with that long-term generational view.
Right. And that perspective leads to very different financial decisions than maybe the average person makes day to day. It's focused on careful saving, smart investing, consistent growth over the long haul, and sustainability.
And here's something that really surprised me, this idea from wisdom traditions, that wealth is temporary, that real joy comes from using and experiencing, not just owning.
Yeah, that phrase, his wealth is enjoyed, not owned, it's powerful. It suggests we're just temporary caretakers of things.
Changes how you look at possessions, doesn't it?
It really does. It encourages generosity, seeing things as opportunities for enjoyment, for sharing, rather than just clinging to them. It's a shift from just accumulating stuff to focusing on experience, purpose, and, yes, ultimately legacy.
So if that's the mindset, what's the ultimate destination? The source points to financial freedom, right?
Yes, financial freedom. Defined basically as having enough assets, enough passive income to cover your living expenses without needing to work a traditional job.
Imagine that. The benefits seem huge. Freedom from a job you dislike.
The ability to spend your time on work that actually feels meaningful to you, more time for relationships, for travel, for learning, just for leisure.
And it provides real security, doesn't it? Less stress about unpredictable income, like layoffs or recessions, because you have that reliable cash flow coming in from investments.
What's really cool is how this aligns with older ideas. The source mentions Epicurus, the philosopher, saying, true prosperity isn't about having more than you need, but about having enough freedom and security to actually flourish, to live without that constant money worry.
That's powerful. Less anxiety, more living.
Exactly.
And the path to get there, according to the source, is surprisingly straightforward.
Yeah, it boils down to spend less than you earn, save diligently, make wise long-term investments, and then just let compound growth do its thing. Patience and discipline are key.
Simple on paper, maybe not always easy in practice.
True, but achievable. And building on that, the source gives some really practical steps to actually gain control because, let's face it, money worries are a huge source of stress for so many people.
Okay, what are those steps?
First, awareness. You have to get brutally honest about where you stand. Income, expenses, and yeah, where you might be spending unnecessarily. The simple act of tracking every expense can be eye-opening.
Just writing it down, seeing it.
Yep. Then, create a practical budget, not about starving yourself, but about being intentional with your money. Maybe adjusting housing costs or entertainment spending so it aligns with your bigger goals.
And it's not just about cutting back, right? It's also about growing the income side.
Absolutely. Maximize your earnings. That can mean education, new skills, side hustles, negotiating a raise, finding better employment, actively building your financial capacity.
Okay, awareness, budget, earning more. What else?
Sharpening your money management skills, learning about banking tools, investing basics, taxes, smart saving strategies. There's always more to learn.
And automation. That sounds like a game changer.
It really is. Setting up automatic transfers to savings, retirement investments. Automating bill payments, too. It reduces stress, helps avoid late fees, keeps your credit healthy, takes some of the decision-making burden off you.
Makes sense. And goals.
Crucial. Set clear financial goals, short-term, medium-term, long-term. They give you direction, keep you motivated.
And finally, that emergency fund.
Yes, so important. Having that buffer, 3 to 6 months of living expenses, protects you from life's curveballs, job loss, medical bills, car repairs. It provides invaluable peace of mind.
Got it. So those are the practical steps. Now, what about the mindset traps? The source warns about making money your God.
Yeah, that's a big one. The danger of idolizing wealth, believing it's the ultimate source of power. That path can lead you to compromise your ethics, damage relationships, neglect your health.
Because money can't actually buy happiness or success, can it?
Nope. Its value is purely material, what it can buy. The source emphasizes a balanced view. Money brings comforts, opens doors, sure. But the really valuable things in life, love, knowledge, character, serving others, spiritual connection, you don't need money for those.
So again, it comes back to that question for you, the listener. Is money running your life, or are you using its power according to your values?
And the source adds this great point. Once you get some capital working for you, invested, your money starts doing the heavy lifting, which means you can potentially work less while your wealth still grows.
When money is working for you, you can work less.
I like that. It's a powerful shift.
Okay, another major pitfall. Debt. The source doesn't mince words here. Credit cards, student loans, mortgages,
Yeah.
they can pile up incredibly fast.
And the consequences are long-term. As it says, getting into debt is a breeze, but getting out of it can be quite challenging. Anyone who's been there knows how true that is.
It just limits everything, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Steals money from savings, from investments, just eats away at your stability.
Absolutely. So the solution is pretty clear. Minimize new debt, aggressively pay down what you have, practice patience, live within your means, spend less than you earn.
And tied into that, perhaps, is the danger of those get-rich-quick schemes. They seem so tempting.
Oh, the irresistible allure, as the source calls it. Promises of huge profits, minimal effort. You see it everywhere. Exaggerated business opportunities, crazy crypto promises, unrealistic stock tips, most MLM structures, gambling systems.
And the reality.
Usually financial ruin. They prey on that desire for a shortcut.
So how is sustainable wealth built, then?
It's gradual. It involves providing real value to others, understanding basic business principles, real economics. It takes actual work, patience, and letting compound growth happen over time. No magic bullet.
Right. Substance over flash. Always comes back to that.
Always.
So if it's about value, the source says money represents the value you create. Can you unpack that?
Yeah, it tries to demystify money. It's not just paper or numbers on a screen. It's a symbol of value exchange between people. It reflects how society values what you contribute, your skills, your ideas, your products, your services.
So when I use my credit card or get a paycheck, I should think about the value exchange happening there.
Exactly. Connecting it to that bigger picture gives it more meaning. Creating value is what attracts money. Money is like a tool just waiting to be used. And when you put it to work, invest it, that's when it generates returns and grows.
So don't just let it sit there passively. Manage it actively.
Precisely.
Okay, this leads beautifully to another point. The source asks, what's the most reliable investment everyone agrees on? And the answer is?
Investing in yourself, your personal growth, expanding your abilities, hands down.
Why is that so powerful?
Because the potential of the human spirit, when you intentionally focus it, it's immense. Your vision, your job skills, your creativity, your health, your relationships, investing in these areas pays incredible dividends.
So what does that look like practically? Taking courses?
Yeah, it could be courses, workshops, hiring a coach. It could be turning a hobby you love into something that generates income. Improving communication skills. Even just mastering a fitness routine for better mental clarity counts as self-investment.
The source also mentions leveraged income. What's that about?
That's income not directly tied to the hours you work. Think book royalties, software licenses, maybe income from a successful YouTube channel, or passive income from investments. Your effort creates something that continues to earn without constant active work from you.
And developing high-income skills.
Right. Skills that combine unique expertise with the ability to scale up. They might be hard to learn initially, challenging even, but the payoff can be significant because they're in demand and not easily replicated.
Okay, let's move into applying all this. The source has this great phrase, expect the best, save for the worst. What does that mean in practice?
It means acknowledging that wealth building isn't a smooth, straight line up. There are bumps. Stock markets go up and down, economies shift. You need to be flexible.
Like a tree that bends in the wind.
Exactly. Like a supple tree, not a rigid oak that snaps. Have an optimistic outlook, believe things can work out, but stay practical. Don't get lost in unrealistic expectations.
And the save for the worst part.
That's about building resilience. Cautious budgeting. That emergency fund we talked about, 3 to 6 months of expenses. Diversifying your assets is huge here. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Avoid taking on too much debt.
So you can handle shocks.
Right. Adaptability is key. Maybe you need to shift focus if your industry changes. Maybe you use tax loss harvesting if stocks dip. Maybe you refinance debt if interest rates change. Being adaptable helps you weather the storms.
Makes sense. Another really practical point was about valuing your own worth. Why is that important financially?
Because we often undervalue ourselves, don't we? Underestimate our skills, our hard work. And that means we miss out on fair compensation.
So while being generous is good, don't let people take advantage.
Exactly. The source says if you don't prioritize your time, others won't either. You need to find that balance. Appreciate what you bring to the table, know your skills value, and set up fair agreements when you share them.
Like charging for consulting instead of giving endless free advice, or having contracts for creative work.
Perfect examples. It's about setting reasonable prices, earning what you deserve, building self-worth, and, frankly, filtering out people who just want something for nothing.
And it reinforces that building real wealth takes time, right? It's not instant.
Absolutely. It requires perseverance, determination, often over years, maybe decades, consistent effort and patience. That's what leads to sustainable wealth. No shortcuts.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground. This brings us to the the grand vision, doesn't it? Living life on your own terms. How does the source redefine wealth here?
It challenges that narrow definition based just on money and stuff. True wealth, it argues, and this is really transformative, is about having the freedom, the resources to fully live, to align your time and money with what you truly value, not just chasing status symbols.
Like Thoreau said, right? Wealth is about being able to let go of unnecessary things.
Exactly. It's moving beyond just chasing bigger paychecks to actually redesigning your finances so your money supports genuine satisfaction. Building those systems for passive income, owning assets that grow.
So connecting this to the bigger picture,
Mm-hmm.
it's about broadening your definition of wealth way beyond just the bank balance, aligning it with your soul's purpose.
That's a great way to put it. Living life on your terms means rejecting what society tells you success should look like and having the courage to decide what's important based on who you really are.
That sounds challenging, though. Setting boundaries, taking risks.
It definitely is challenging, but the source suggests the rewards are immense. That unwavering determination, finding real strength within yourself, and achieving a profound sense of meaning because you're living a life authentic to you.
Wow. Okay, so we really dug deep into the Quiet Millionaire today. We started with that core idea of discretion, the quiet approach.
Then mentors, the power of patience, redefining money as a tool, not the goal.
Thinking about legacy, multi-generational wealth, aiming for financial freedom as the real security.
And the practical steps to gain control: awareness, budgeting, earnings, skills, automation, goals, the emergency fund.
We also hit those pitfalls, not making money your god, the burden of debt, those tempting get-rich-quick schemes.
And then understanding money as value created, the absolute crucial investment in yourself.
Adaptability, expect the best, save for the worst. Valuing your own worth.
And finally, that big vision, redefining wealth and living life truly on your own terms.
It really feels like the journey to financial wisdom is so personal. The choices you make, how you handle your money, it's going to look different for everyone.
Absolutely. So the real question for you listening is, what stood out most to you from this deep dive? What resonated?
Yeah, how will you start to harness the real power of money in your own life? Make sure it's serving your purpose, not the other way around.
What does living life on your terms actually mean for you, starting today?